Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Good morning.
Top of the morning, I like to say.
You know, you're not so very far from wrong. That's one of my dads all the time said it probably a million times a week. You're not so very. I mean, I liked it. It was a shtick. You're not so very far from wrong.
Right. He was like Fonzie. He couldn't say you were right.
No, well, that would mean, yeah. Well, I'm not connecting this directly to the intelligence thing.
Yeah.
Handy. Good job. You're not that far from wrong today, huh?
Oh?
Hey, is there any, you have a new doggy for the 4th, right? First time on the 4th?
Yeah, although we've gotten plenty of test fireworks over the last
I know,
days.
that's why I was walking around the parking lot near a supermarket. This is my new accent. I was walking around near a parking lot near a supermarket, and I thought, oh my God, it's an explosion. I thought a grenade went off. So I looked around, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was fine.
People weren't scattered and
everyone was
bleeding.
Nobody looked up.
Right.
It's like, okay, what are the odds that this is a shooting right now?
Right.
No.
And
everyone
you
seemed
skip right over car backfiring.
No, this really sounded like when a warehouse goes up.
Kablamo. Yes.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This was really, I was going to apologize for being 2 minutes late, and then you come back with 1 sec, and then I'm all this. Am I going to turn into one of these people?
I think you're there. I don't think. I look in the rearview mirror, pal.
I'm all this, and I'm all that. I want so far. What is the dog? What is the reaction to the fireworks? What is Lucky's reaction?
Lucky's reaction is just to get real close to me.
Oh my God.
When she hears that first one goes off, she plants herself right at my feet.
I want to also, just before you go on, I want to say, if there was an emergency, that's what I would do too, is huddle around your feet.
Yeah.
You're a tall guy. You look like 99%. You are someone who's in control. 99%.
Wow. So, I appreciate that.
With an emergency. Well, no, I've never seen you out of control.
That's good.
I've never seen you out of control.
Yeah, I save it for off pod.
I've seen you harried.
I've been harried. Oh, sure. Who hasn't?
Harry. Oh, God. Oh, God. I can feel Groucho. Shut up, Groucho. You see, I do a thing now with the therapy. I say, how do I start the bad comedy? Just say, shut up, Groucho to the Groucho.
That's what
Shut up,
I feel like I gave you a little bit of that, so I feel good.
Yeah, you gave me. How much did you give me? A little bit or a whole bunch of it?
Shut up, Groucho.
All right, now I have good news to report. How was your weekend?
I don't know. I want to hear your good news.
Okay, my good news. Did I do the CT contract?
Jen Kirkman has filled me in on lots of things about ADHD symptoms.
Oh,
just over
cool.
the years, she'll like every once in a while she'll drop something in that I'll find out is not just a personality trait of mine, but also an ADD thing.
She's very
one of the things she was saying is like ADHD people they don't remember how their weekend was. they remember a couple of weird things that happened.
That's so funny.
And I was like, thank you, Jen. That's another piece of the puzzle.
That's probably why we don't remember. Who are some of your favorite comedians? That's a similar thing.
Horrible.
Right?
Yeah, it's hard to access back that way.
See, that's what's so great about her is that she is in full control of the knowledge of her mental things. Well, there's nobody, what were we talking about? Alzheimer's. I should have told you about it yesterday. What's the bad news? Alzheimer's. You should have said about it. But what's the worst news? You've got Alzheimer's. But what's the terrible news? AIDS. Okay.
Wow.
You know what, Josh?
That was never a good bit.
Let me tell you something. Enough time has gone by with the Biktarvy, and I take one a day. The other guy takes one every 6 months. It's now time to establish some healthy AIDS jokes.
Yeah. I just saw, speaking of which, and my weekend,
Yes.
This is how the only way we get back to these things is I watched that Rock Hudson documentary.
Which I think I've watched, but I have no memory of.
Well, it just came out, so probably not. But
I did not watch that.
But you know the story, and there's no more light on it after this doc. Let me just say,
there's no more what?
He was a big star and he was gay. That's the story. That's it. That's the whole story with Rock Hudson because he didn't talk to many people.
What's the name of the movie?
I can't remember, but
okay,
just
Rock
go
Hudson
to Max.
there.
Go to Max and look for the big picture of Rock Hudson, and you'll be there.
I don't find that it's so easy to go to Max. Do I have to go to Max? Where'd you go?
Hello.
Do I have to go to Max on my Roku?
Yeah.
Or should I go
to Max on your Roku?
Not on Spectrum, right?
No, go to Max on your Roku. And then
sitting around with my Roku.
But because you have HBO on your Spectrum.
Oh, it's a Spectrum thing.
It'll sign you. You have to be signed in to the Spectrum through your laptop.
I hate lesmoonves.net 666.
Uh-huh.
That's my password.
Oh, is it?
You know what my password is for my ATM? I have OCD 123 123 123, and then they said you've exceeded your characters limit, like on Twitter. You've exceeded your. Here are the following rules for this weekend. If you just are a shit person who doesn't pay, right, you can look at 4 things.
Which is why you can now find me at Elvis Weinstein at Blue Sky.
Okay. All right.
All right.
This is getting me mad now.
What?
I thought we were going to agree not to go somewhere else.
I was never agreeing to you. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to go be happy somewhere else, but I did. But I got an invitation from someone I like, and I went, all right, fine.
Okay. I'm going to join you now.
Okay, good.
But I said that I didn't want to do this.
No,
I don't want this.
I just never made any kind of pledge, is what I'm saying.
Yes, but are we going to? Are you going to stop me if it turns into the next Twitter? It won't, right?
Do you want me to stop you?
Yes. I don't want to argue with people. I don't want.
I mean, do you want?
I don't want to bring this hideous.
Do you want me to talk to you about your behavior, or do you want me to just say, "Hey, Andy, this place sucks. Get out of here"? I don't know what you're asking.
I think if my behavior starts acting up,
okay, just quiet.
It's that. I don't care what the place is like.
Politely and lovingly give you a nudge.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not happening, buddy. Because it's not that I promised or said I'm not going to go anywhere else. But I'm willing to let this concept. First of all, who the fuck cares what I'm tweeting? I keep thinking I'm establishing a consistent personality, right, and people are like, "What's his position this week on the whole whether he's going to Blue Sky or right, Twitter?" Nobody cares.
No one cares. I just want to be, I just want to have my little island there, and if I decide that it's a place to be, then I'll be all set up.
Okay, I'm going with you, baby. I mean, I don't.
What I'm pretty certain of is that I really don't feel good about Twitter in any way anymore, really.
I don't know why you say that. You say these things.
It seems like most of my highlight people, many of my highlight people have gone to Blue Sky.
Who? What people?
The highlight people of Twitter.
What does that mean, highlight?
What could it possibly mean?
Does that mean your favorite list?
Sure. Thanks. Another way to put it. No, just people I like are there. God damn.
Do you call them highlights?
No, I just did in that sentence, and you're acting like a dick now.
Me? I'm acting like a dick? Why? Is it because I'm pretending that my feelings are not, that I don't have hurt feelings and that it's your issue? Why? Because I argue instead of feel?
That's it.
Well, once you said the thing, once you identified your problem in the bit, if you continue on, you just seem like an asshole.
All right. Or a dick.
And that's just a general.
Dick, as I put it.
I don't know about that. Hey, I came here because they said there were going to be plenty of blue skies. Why don't we start by spelling it right? Follow, ha ha ha, zing zing. Is there a zing zing zing?
There's a zing 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 button. Yes.
All right, we're going. I'm very excited.
They call it the zing-moji over there, but I think that'll pass.
I have so many things to tell you. I mean, bits to do.
Oh, good.
And they're short.
And I get to distinguish between which is which. This is a thing. You're telling me this is a bit.
In general, I do give you rejection. I mean, you're the rejecter of the show.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is that from the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
No.
The rejector. No, but I'm saying like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
it's not like
no.
that. That is so great. Okay, I don't know where to start. Should I just go into it?
I guess, yeah. You're the one who's holding all the cards here.
Okay. It is what it is. You've heard that one, right? Everyone says it.
Sure.
For how many years is
Let me guess. You don't like it so much. Wait, someone's trying to scam me into some home improvement bullshit thing that the government has all this money for. Okay, they're gone.
Maybe that one they really do at this point.
Maybe.
At this point, I'm ready to call. I'm calling those people. All right. So it is what they is. What is what it. What is it? It is what it is. Sure. Right. You at some point we all get the concept. It's all crossed our mind. There's nothing you can do about this.
Right. I think there's probably 1,000 Yiddish expressions that pretty much equate to it is what it is.
I would ask. The harder thing would be to find a Yiddish expression that isn't saying it's forget it.
The world
forget
is horrible.
It, Jake. It's it's not Jewtown. That would be
no. That's good enough. We got you through the whole. Once you get if people don't get it after forget it, Jake, you're washed anyway.
So I really enjoyed this segment of the show where I reveal previous things that embarrass me.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a quick one.
Wait, are we getting off? It is what it is?
No. It's based on it is.
Okay.
What it is.
All right.
It reminded me. Almost everything can remind me of some previous unpleasant experience. But then I started to think I had a song. I think I've denied it till today.
Wow.
I had a song. I had For Sure.
For sure I do.
Okay.
Yes.
I had What It Is.
What It Is.
No, I wouldn't have. No, that would have been prescient.
Uh-huh.
I had What It Is.
Uh-huh. And what was it?
It was such a terrible song. And I do remember that I blocked almost. It was like a lot of lyrics like, this is fucked up and that's fucked up. And the other person is, I hate the guy in Hermosa who told me I'm an asshole. Uh-huh. And then the chorus is along these lines, what it is, and I think it's like.
Not what's going on.
No, that's what I would have felt I'm a thief, but I have good taste.
All right.
That's what would have said.
Where my mind went when you said bad things going on in the chorus is what it is.
Reggae. There was like a reggae.
Different appropriation of culture.
Right. So it was like what it is, and then I was singing it to myself, and I was saying, "Well, I'm going to reveal this tomorrow." And I was saying to myself, and I realized it really was this. What it is, that's already exists, right? Tuck it in. What is that one? Suck it up.
I can't get there, but
what it is. It's kind of like MC Hammer, but I can't figure it out. Mm-hmm. But anyway,
you can't touch it, if you will.
What it is. Now, what was I even thinking about with that as the title? What it is.
I don't think here's where the self. It
may be too much now.
Well, I don't think there's never. I mean, had you put it out as a single, that's where you cross the line. But
I would have put Karen. I would have put Karen out.
But berating yourself for the act of creation and follow through is wrong. I don't think that's not the right approach.
I would have put out Karen.
We've all made shitty stuff.
True.
Even if you stood behind what it is at the time.
Right.
That's the folly of youth, I say.
I think that these ones that stick with me are ones that I kind of knew right from the start.
Right.
When you're like, my sister was like, I like that for sure, or just doing harmonies to it for sure. But
Andy Kindler and the Yes and Singers.
But these were ones that like I almost. There's a couple more like that too, where it's almost like that is cliche. The chorus is cliche.
Yeah, but so what? I mean, that's the thing. Is like
tuck it in. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Stuff it in.
Yeah, I want to say rub it in, but I don't.
That's it. It's like that. It's like rub it in, or it's like feeling good. It feels good though. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying, and I think that's why me pitching this as our signature bit is not a good idea.
I just feel like those are the kind of thoughts that make you not open up the 8-track box.
Okay, Josh. Funny stuff, even if they can't see it. funny stuff talking into a coffee cup, thinking it's a thing. All right. The thing with balance, I know that you're going to say, Andy, why don't you just stop watching TV? But here's what: why don't you? It's not legitimate to do the '80s version of all I do all day is watch this shit, folks.
Right.
What can I do?
Ow, it's not TV. Not TV. It's those commercials that get me. It's not TV. Not TV. It's those commercials that get me.
But this is the truth. That's all I do all day.
Right. Well, that's...
is watch this shit.
Uh-huh.
So it's real. This is like I could introduce it as a newer concept, like postmodern almost. So,
but that balance of nature.
Thank you.
Sure.
Because here's the thing: when you hate something and you really hate it, like Prevagen commercials and this, you start to hate it. And so then you start to pick apart everything the person says, and you start to revel in how stupid it is.
Yeah.
So the guy who came up with the stuff, I'm not a fan of him.
Right.
The guy in the commercial. In one commercial, he goes, "They told me I'm a terrible public speaker," and I'm saying, "Well, yes, that's who I am." Stuff like that, right?
Uh-huh.
And so his tag, I realize he has a catchphrase. It's not. Why don't I write it down now? It's not. They don't come from fruits and vegetables. They don't come from fruits and vegetables. They are fruits and vegetables. That to me is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. And so I had a couple of jokes I wrote across. Have you tried their banana in a capsule? It's so great because it is food. It's not.
Uh-huh.
It's not the essence in a dried powder form. It's a banana shoved in a gelatin capsule.
Right.
Good?
That's why I go to the capsule bar.
And then at one point, to make them look more like idiots, they have half-open capsules. And what seems to be what they want you to believe is falling out of these capsules is real food chopped up and freeze-dried. So it is almost like the image is, I'm sorry, what do you mean I haven't eaten in 2 weeks? I have taken my fruit. I've been taking my fruits and vegetables in a capsule form. All right, I'm done with that one. Was it good?
No, you're not.
I just swallowed my food pellets. Hey, who has the time? I wrote this one. Who has the time to eat a banana? Doesn't everybody have time to eat it? You can even eat a banana when you're doing something else. No, you should swallow your banana in a capsule.
Right, but can you get 5 bananas down?
That's what they say.
People say to me, I can get the 1 banana down, but I just don't have time for the 5 bananas.
So you're saying that there's technology that allows them to take 5 bananas and compress it so it's only a little bit of powder in one capsule amongst many more.
So much of fruits these days are water and air.
And then they're so pathetic.
And flavor and texture.
Yeah, what is this? I mean, I hate to be an 80s comedian. Who are these people who don't want to eat food? Why are you not eating? He keeps saying at one point, they don't do it. My client's not. Well, you're a doctor and you seem to be emphasizing nutrition. Get your people to do it then, all right? Don't come up with some hokey.
Right, and they're never real all the way doctors either. They're
that's right.
Chiropractor guy.
Or...
Yeah.
He says he's a cardiac specialist or something. Really?
He literally says, or something.
Oh boy!
I'll tell the one commercial that's my current video chalkboard scratching.
Is that what you call that?
No, it's not. Just stop with that. Stop with the. Is that what you call that? Stop.
I'm sorry.
Stop.
I apologize.
Understand what I'm saying rather than criticize the words, okay?
Yeah, I'm kind of like these.
Don't treat me like I'm a vegetable capsule.
I'm like Rogan in a way. I'm just asking questions.
You're worse.
I like you don't even know what the premise of the statement is, but I'm worse than Rogan.
Yes.
It's good. But he's a horrible comic. How could I be worse than that?
Worse.
But he doesn't have a clever idea in his head.
Worse. My worst commercial right now is the buffet one with the which came first, the chicken or the baby back ribs. The baby back ribs, the chicken, the baby back, and they go the whole thing back and forth. The baby back ribs, the chicken, the baby back. I hate it.
It's a false premise.
It's a false premise. It's a false premise.
And I've tweeted that it should be.
It's intellectually dishonest, is what it is.
It should be the chicken or the eggs Benedict. The chicken tenders or the eggs Benedict.
Oh, you're punching it up. You really think that would have been good too? Yes.
Which came first? In other words, like you have a person, one of these people, robotic people at a table who seem to be only agitated,
chicken
only
tenders.
They're only animated by food.
Clank, chicken tenders.
And that woman, it's not her fault.
No, she's just actory. She's so actory.
But when she goes chicken tender like that, that could be funny. It's not funny in this buffet commercial.
No, but they had her do 1,000 times, and the editor chose that.
We never blame the actors, everybody.
No, it was the editor's fault.
I mean, you're not going to not cast your... If you're going out for commercials, you're not going to turn that one down because it's bad.
No, you don't turn down anything in this world.
Well, I turned down as napalm. The napalm.
You did not turn it down. You got a call back and you went.
And you know what? I went too much over the top when I said, "What is this? A sterno? A sterno on steroids?" And they were like, a little bit too.
Yeah, don't make fun of the product. You can make fun of it.
Can you imagine the napalm?
The clients aren't happy. Don't make fun of the product.
Yeah, but this is a product that was used to just maim people.
Used effectively to maim people.
You wouldn't say to maim people. Used effectively to control areas of ascertainment. Oh, okay. Let me see. Am I done with all my... Oh, the other thing. Oh, did I tell you that my contrast test came back great?
Old Jew Medical Corner. Your contrasts of...
CT scan?
Yeah, you had mentioned CT scan a couple weeks ago, but what was it for?
My chest and lungs. Because I had a lung nodule in 2001, and I was supposed to do a follow-up.
Okay, 22 years later.
But I was...
Has it not changed, the nodule, since 2001?
Well, I don't want to reach...
Lord knows technology has.
Yeah, I think they were higher dosage. I remember my sister castigating us because Susan and I did full body scans back in the 1860s.
Right. It was a sketch artist.
I was so nervous to have this done because of the pot smoking, even though I've read every article that's pro what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
And when I got to the part with those things in the thing are asymptomatic. They're these little nodules, and otherwise your lungs are clear. Not your lungs. The lungs are clear.
Right.
The lungs are clear.
Nice.
So I just
had me a chest CT a couple weeks ago myself, and also A-OK. So don't sell short on Thought Spiral, people.
Wait, I never followed up with you with that?
I don't know. It was when I did my kidneys.
Okay. And you're good.
I'm all good.
But they said positive. And
when I say kidneys, I mean kidney.
I know. It still sounds scary. But, I was thinking that it sounds scary. But if you're going to get scared by that, how many kidneys would be enough for you?
Exactly.
If you had three, you'd think that three were going to go.
I'm just one short of what would make me happy. So.
Nothing's going to happen to you, my friend. Let me tell you this. I need because why? Because you love Josh, you care about him, and you want to.
And my brother has two relatively healthy ones.
That's good. No, because I need him around in my 80s. No kidding around. I just found out
in your 80s, I'll be your age, and that's going to be no help for anybody.
No. Oh, mine age now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already too old.
Like, what help could you be now? Exactly.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was like, Josh, what did he want? He said that, what did Josh just ask for? He said that his breathing tube had been clogged. Maybe. Let's get something from the vending machine.
Could you please put the breathing tube back to the hookah?
All right. So what I'm saying is, I am spliff free. I don't smoke in the house anymore.
Right.
But I could. Before the show, I got up early.
Yeah.
Went out and smoked a spliff the size of a blunt.
A splunt?
What is a blunt? I bought a couple of blunts recently. What are they? I mean, it's like a brown paper. What does that mean? That bad for me?
It's a hollowed out cigar, basically.
This is exactly what it is. And I've had one that has a hash infusion in the hollowed out part.
Uh-huh.
This is the only way to go for me now.
How can you infuse the void?
You know what?
Infuse the void, Andy.
Ooh. And I do it Carlin like. Do it Carlin like.
He infused the void. How can it be infused and empty at the same time?
All right,
Something's gone afoul inside a blunt.
Give me a little Robin. Give me some Robin White.
Ooh, with a blunt. Ooh, oh, I'm smoking like Popeye. Oh, hands blow me down. Oh.
Oh my God. I cannot tell you how delightful this is. And I was getting nervous because I'm such a big fourth guy. I was getting nervous, would I enjoy myself today? Or would there be...
It's the third.
I'd be so excited about the fourth. Yeah. No, but I mean, tomorrow, you're getting ready.
Right. You're putting up your independent stockings on the fireplace and stuff.
Ooh, ha, ooh, ha, ooh, ha, ooh, ha, ooh, ah. Oh, okay. I got one more story.
Okay.
You ready?
Whew. Thank God.
Whew. It was close. All right. This is an embarrassing thing about my whole family, but it really involves mostly my sister and I, not so much my brother.
Okay.
And my sister's gone.
Okay. So there's death and no money.
Okay. So my cousins used to come over. We had different cousins, but the ones we saw who came over from East Meadow.
This is on the 4th?
No. They came over. Sorry. I forgot what the occasion was for.
Okay.
We would put out salmon spread. Some lox and bagels from the local place.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so my parents never bought a lot of salmon. They would buy like a small amount of salmon. And in our particular family, everyone took small amounts of salmon.
Right.
And they doled it out.
It was very expensive. Lox has always been very expensive.
Right, but so one time, this is just the deep well of judgment in the family. So one time, these cousins come over, and we have the quarter or whatever it is out. They lop it all, like one of them or two of them lop it all up of the cousins. They lop it all up and it's gone.
Yeah.
And for about 10 years after that, my sister and I were like, and at first I'm saying in the moment, I was like, what are we, a fucking salmon dispensary? What are we,
Sure.
What is the matter with,
what are we, at Fort Locks?
What am I made of? Do I look like I'm made of salmon? But it didn't even occur to me.
By the way, when you get all angry like that, you do kind of look like you're made of salmon. You get all pink and...
Yeah, it has a feel. Oh, at least you connected it to something real. Like that really was, I thought, because just forget it. I thought you were just saying forget it. All right. But, let me, I'll focus.
They were,
oh,
you were,
for years. But I didn't for one second think, oh, maybe this is a different tradition that first of all, maybe they don't have a lot of salmon, or maybe they eat a lot of salmon in their family.
Right.
It had to be, they were breaking a Jewish law, we thought, my sister and I. And we could talk about it for years, both as something to hold against the cousins.
Right.
Not really it was. We were like, that's emblematic of that family. I'm not
Sure.
I would say that then.
Greedy, grubby people.
And similarly, what we made, what?
Unthinking, uncaring.
Yes. And then again, these are people from their side. They're like, what are we made of? Harvey's Bristol Cream? Who am I, a Harvey's Bristol Cream distributor?
Yeah.
So it didn't just exist in one house.
Right.
Right? This kind of petty thinking. But we didn't think it was petty. We thought we were like, how could you? How could you? And now I can separate and go, well, I guess because I've been in therapy and hate so much about what my family did,
Right.
both in public and in private. But I love my sister, but we both could share.
Folks, I love my sister. But
I love my sister, but we both could be very, very.
She hold a salmon grudge. Woo.
We both are people who could unnaturally hold grudges against people. Our family's an expert in it.
Yeah, my mom was one of the greats. My dad had no time for it, but my mom. I think the only grudge I knew that my dad had was just to his nuclear family, but not us, but his previous nuclear family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he loved us. We were awesome.
That's cool.
But yeah, my mom, she could hold a grudge.
Wow.
I there was one cousin I knew as the cousin who ruined her wedding. That's all you know.
Yeah. Grudges, not my family grudges were like collecting stamps or coins.
Yeah, we did the blowout. Well, I've told you about this. Like when people left, we did the sort of the wrap up show. We got it all out that night, pretty much.
Well, I just want to say, and that when you said that and you brought it up, I thought it was so funny. But I just want people to know, our family did the same thing. Not that it's just a Jewish thing, but as soon as you'd even check the house to see who was left.
There's no coats left on the bed, are there?
Right. Is that cousin? Is that Barbara?
Flush.
So. It's like again, I don't know if it's a Jewish thing or it's a family thing or
it seems based on my on the response by my brother's two non-Jewish fiancés to seeing it in action, it's a Jewish thing.
I'm sorry, I hear Susan's phone. It kills me every time.
That's Clyde haunting you, by the way.
Aww. Oh, okay, don't let me go down this road where I start to fade. Let me fade.
I won't. You got to keep your balls aloft for just a few more minutes. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, don't you quit on me.
Did you see Mulaney's special?
I love the Mulaney special.
Did you really?
Yeah. You know what? I should probably say, yes, I have, and let you say what you thought.
Oh, no. It's good because I hated his special.
All right. You know what? Here's the thing. I happen to be, and I will admit this fully, when I think somebody's funny, I will almost bend over backwards to think they're funny.
Yeah.
I mean, to love them, what they're doing. So just the fact that he confronted what he did, and he said, the things that he did say, revealing, I mean, not to the level of my revelations on this show. I forgot what I revealed today already. What did I reveal today? That was an embarrassing thing.
A song.
Oh, come on. And who we talking? Oh, but then he captured me with his comedy, and so Susan and I, we laughed throughout it all. That's all I'll say about it. I'm not going to even defend it. I want to hear your take.
I just thought it was like an hour-long humble brag. Basically, I really thought it was like the most bullshit version of hitting bottom and the most self-serving, like his worst moment was fucking buying a Rolex and selling it for a loss, to get cash. It's like, come on.
No, I think it was when the doctor was the one to look at him.
Huh?
When the doctor maybe wanted to look at him or something?
No, he was when he put himself on a budget, No,
I was saying a worse moment was when he went to this weird sexual doctor's house and
yeah, but again, it's just
to buy
but
he doesn't look like the guy. He looks like Louis C.K. in the Louis C.K. show, right? Where he's like stumbling in on these things like, how did I get in here? Not even that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, whatever the case, it really had nothing to do with the kind of carnage that he wrought in people's lives. It was his own little. I just thought it was intellectually dishonest.
But the thing is, it's such an interesting thing. It's like Mulaney is a guy I think that I do have mixed feelings about because that I don't want it to veer into. Well, like I'm so. Forget about what I don't want. It's an OCD thing where I'm so worried about veering into that. You look like an envious fuckface because I felt bad when I think he was middling.
Yeah, he's pretty
middling.
He's pretty middling.
No, he was middling. He was middling at Zanies, and I was headlining or something like that, or maybe I was middling, and he was hilarious every night, and I just felt like, and I hated that room so much, Zanies, that I was envious, but also admired it.
Yeah.
So I think there's this thing where I have a love-hate relationship with him. I was really angry when he seemed to be bragging about the stuff with his wife and all the goings on in that area.
Yeah.
But now this won me back.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm not campaigning for you to hate it. It just struck me as so disingenuous and so the opposite of the confessional that he sort of was making it out to be.
Do you think he gets me because I'm kind of like...
No, I think he's funny. I think that's the thing. I mean,
that is the thing. He is funny.
I absolutely think he's a funny guy.
Right. It's just hard after all this time. Right?
I mean, I don't have any baggage attached to my like or dislike of him, so it's pretty easy for me to go, he's funny, but that was bullshit.
Well, just the fact, I mean, Josh, just the fact that you could a year, I mean, this is an intervention. So this is the lowest point of his, should be the lowest point of your life.
Yeah.
That just 6 months to a year after that, you have a crisp hour and you're relating, you know what I mean? That is a little odd to me. You know how it's like?
I don't think it is odd. I mean, I think that's what comics.
But why why can't I agree with you? Tell me how I should agree with you.
You don't have to agree with me.
But I'm trying to. Is the problem.
I think that's what comics do. I think that's.
I see. Right. Yeah. They say.
I just don't think the conclusions he came up with are intellectually honest, really.
What were the conclusions you think he came up with that were intellectual? And I'm not arguing that were like presenting an intellectually dishonest thing. Like I learned from it, or
it was just a dismissive way of saying I'm a shallow asshole, but without any real culpability for it,
It's like saying I wish I didn't have to be a nice guy, like he says. Which is very funny, but it also is a way of him.
This is where my ADD hurts me because I saw this a few weeks ago or a month ago, so I don't have I didn't retain that much of it really, except for my impression of it.
Right. But he does self-deprecating stuff that is, as what his name would say. The guy used to be on Chris Matthews, Howard Feynman. It's too cute. It's too cute by half.
It's just fake self-deprecation is what it is.
Because he's not
like
self-deprecating.
Even our friend Judd did that in his special. I'm such a dork when I meet Paul McCartney. It's kind of
right. But the flip side. Well, the flip side is you can't say it this way either. So of course I met Paul McCartney. He came over to the thing and we were hanging out. And Rod Stewart, I was on the phone with Rod Stewart. You can't do it that way.
No, but if you don't have a bit that. Yeah, you just don't do it, I guess, is my point.
I saw the Being Mary Tyler Moore
I saw that
special, which I enjoyed very much, except was it, I'm just asking this as a question.
Yeah.
Was it because of COVID that they made the decision? That's just the way they had those interviews post her death.
No, I was talking about this the other week because I think that people, when they make this choice now to go all wall-to-wall archival and no faces on camera, it's because they don't want to put old people on camera.
Right. Do you think it hurts the documentary?
It does for me. Because it just becomes monotonous. The visually becomes monotonous, and it's all, and the story gets shaped by what archival footage you have rather than what are you trying to say from all this? But the disembodied voices
is a trend.
It's
a non-COVID trend.
It absolutely seems to be a trend to me, and some of it is, I think people are grabbing shit from podcasts and people are grabbing shit from audiobooks and there's those kind of tricks being used too. But I think a lot of it has to do. I mean, the other thing is, it's a lot fucking easier to not have to shoot anything.
Right.
It's like I could have made that Mary Tyler Moore doc on my laptop.
Yes.
If you give me all that footage, I could have done it with the I mean, I would have need to send it out to be mixed and all that, but I wouldn't have had to pay for color correction. I wouldn't have had to deal with camera footage. It's just, or shooting or any of it,
Right. Well, I think it's not even that I'm changing my opinion of what I find interesting. It is interesting to watch this footage of her and her point of view. And they have a couple of good interviews that are really, they pull from some interviews that are great.
Sure.
So they do a decent job.
There is plenty of great archival footage, but if you don't have it,
it's not a documentary.
She's dead, so it's like you don't have anything set in the now, really, this way, and in a way it kind of makes it, I think it robs it of some relevance.
Right.
If you can't connect it to some real people, Like I felt that Belushi doc with so many. I
didn't see that Belushi doc. Should I see it?
It's a Showtime doc a couple of years back.
I have Showtime,
but it was like it got so disconnected because it would be like you'd hear like quotes with Carrie Fisher or Robin it's like dead people talking about dead people. And
this is confusing in Mary Tyler Moore for sure too.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it's just a taste thing too. But there's certain. I just like to connect with real people on screen. And seeing them in a moment of considering what they're saying about a person or a thing, it gives it more of a resonance than having it just be VO.
And I think you would agree that occasional spice of it, once you've established the on-screen character, that's how I'm used to it. Once you see the on-screen character, then I do appreciate that you don't always have to see the person.
Right.
But that just seems rootless, this kind of method.
I agree. I think that's a good way of putting it.
And they seem to get people. The other part of it is they're just getting sound bites from people. They're not getting considered. You don't get any nuance from someone going, she was great at this and she was good at that. It's like you can tell that even if they were way more interesting than that, I'm sure most of them were, they're just pulling the most.
They're just using that word that as building material, not as insight material.
And the net result is it does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it just kind of passes right through you.
But the thing that I'll tell you, are you going to watch it?
I have watched it. See that? Doorbell, no dogs. It's the saddest shit, man. Sad, sad, sad.
I can't believe it. I thought, I'm naively thought every dog wants to do that.
No, I think
every dog.
I bet they both kind of went, huh? They perked up and went, huh? Might have even run downstairs. I don't know.
And there are nervous dogs who just from hearing a sound will get nervous and run around. I've seen that happen.
Sure. Yeah. These guys aren't that nervous.
You can't go on the road now with these dogs.
I know, exactly.
As a protection purpose. No, I'm saying they're not going to protect Allison.
I know what you're saying.
She's going to say, God damn it, 911, do something. I'm not giving you a treat. This is hilarious true crime comedy.
It is great.
Right now.
Yes.
What were we talking about? We were talking about,
before you killed off my wife.
Oh. What was I looking at? I just saw another thing last night. It's driving me crazy. I saw something great last night.
I watched that Jason Isabel doc on, if that's his correct name.
Isabel, I don't know. Yeah. Isabel? Yeah.
How
was it?
It's a pretty good doc. It's it's a little
Where's
bit.
it on?
It's a HBO. It's part of that
Oh.
music box series.
I would love to watch that.
It was, and I wasn't really familiar with him at all, so it was a total blank slate watch. So, and
Right.
I ended up basically liking him, basically liking his music.
I think his music is great. What is the matter with me? I have a weird delivery. I'm thinking he's listening to this. He's not listening to this.
No, he's not.
Why am I? Isn't there something? There's something presumptuous about narcissism, right?
I think that's one of its big problems.
Easy, buddy. Easy, buddy. J.I. might listen to this, buddy. I have something so important to tell you. Oh, no. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore. I'm watching the Mary Tyler Moore thing.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden, and welcome to Lucy Talks to Somebody. I'm Lucy. Lucille Ball, and today my guest is Mary Tyler Moore. And Mary, a nice conversation. Yes, they didn't just come up with the idea of podcast, I've decided. Even I was awed by podcast. I'm just saying I was awed by podcast. And I'm like, oh my God, there's always been interview shows
Right.
Going back. Mary Tyler Moore on David Susskind. Susan's looking at me like she didn't know that about David Susskind. Shut up. Don't you talk. She didn't know that David Susskind was kind of a hated figure or a controversial figure.
Little David Susskind, shut up.
Shut up.
Please don't talk. Please don't talk. Little David Susskind, shut up.
Shut up. That was okay that I joined you on the shut up.
No,
there?
it was great.
Because I didn't take away.
Because you made the memory happen of that song.
I love you. I love you, Josh. I was thinking of you the other day because you do a thing where you go, hi.
Hi.
And I want you to show me how that works with the Four Seasons. Yeah, give me a little of that.
Sorry, baby. Won't you come out tonight?
How do you,
Was that what
can
you were
sing
asking
like
for?
Smokey? Can you sing like Smokey?
So take a good look at my face.
But you wouldn't do that on your own.
It's out of place. But I wouldn't what?
You would choose that on your own now.
If I wrote a song that was up there.
That required it. Yeah.
But no, I mean, there's no facet of my actual voice that I'm like, yeah, we'll work to that.
Yes, but in this case, they are also adopting something. They're not doing it because they can hit that thing unlike us. They're not mini ripperting it.
Right.
They're doing it
because that's the melody.
And they've made it comfortable.
Right.
But where did that start? I know I'm being stupid. Where did that start from? What was the Four Seasons? I mean, where does the Four Seasons get? Is it from black singing groups? So they got the Little Richard?
There certainly was that falsetto sound, but I don't know the
nuts and bolts of it.
The roots of it. I know Philadelphia always gets kind of the at least for the later the 70s.
So Frank Stallone type of
not the Frank Stallone.
Well, I thought I was doing myself a favor there. You mean like Frank Stallone? Get me back. Oh, set me
like
back.
the Delphonics.
But I know I talked about this already, but the Mersey sound, don't let I can't do it. But this was, if I was a woman or a man.
The sun catch you crying.
How could you not fall in love with that guy? He's a sensitive guy. He's had a wonderful British accent. I love the British invasion. And he's telling me don't cry.
So love me, 'cause I'm sexy.
And I want to say again, just newsflash, this fucking Pet Sounds, newsflash, do yourself a favor. But I'll also say, I love Pet Sounds so much. And the other thing is I would not want to see it live, some of these songs. I don't think you could do them live. God, God, I'm so boring. You know, for the first few years, I was like, you're not boring. You're a guy with a lot of really interesting opinions. No, you're a fucking bore.
No, Andy. You're fun.
Like, we're watching Love is Blind.
Which is ironic actually, in and of itself.
It is. No, what they agree at the end of Love is Blind is, I love him so much, and whatever he looks like is going to be the icing on the cake. Well, then we start watching. So it's already bad.
Are they attractive people on Love is Blind, or do they throw in some ogres?
This is the questionable part of the show. That you could say, oh, that person has a different body type. Oh, that person doesn't look classically beautiful, but they're all attractive people.
Pretty good looking, yeah.
Pretty good looking people.
Yeah.
So the experiment only does not work if you unless it's a prank show.
Well, exactly. I mean, what part of human nature are you trying to tap into if you're like, don't do it, she's a fucking ogre. You know?
Okay. I'm going to go down, two down. Wait, but what was I going to say? So now I'm watching. So it's already a bad show that we're enjoying. We love watching it. It's a pretty bad show, but we're enjoying it. Now I'm watching it in...
Love is Blind, but hate watching sees the whole fucking playing field.
True. But it gets old after a while because you're too good for the show that everybody knows is terrible.
Right.
So, oh, God, I fucked myself up again.
Love is Blind.
Okay. And now we're watching Love is Blind Brazil version. Brazil version.
Oba.
And I have decided to make fun of the fact that at first I was like, they're not going to sound like, oh, you know, like the old Japanese movies. Oh, I think you're very attractive. Oh, but they absolutely are like this. It is very nice to meet you. I am very happy to see you. I would be so delighted.
It's dubbed.
It's dubbed.
Wow, that's horrible.
And but dubbed only works when you want to go around the house and do cleaning and stuff like that and have it on the background. But dubbed doesn't work if it sounds like voiceover people in the studio and it has nothing, it's not really conveying much and you can't hear any of the original person's voice, right?
Right.
But then I find myself...
Defecation of a prostitute.
And it's in Portuguese is how they're talking.
But you can watch it just hearing Portuguese and seeing English subtitles.
Right, but if they were really trying, they would...
Not if you're walking around the house. I know that's crazy talk, but...
Well, if they really wanted to do it, they would off do it a little bit so you could hear the person's voice. If you really wanted to try and make it work. So you get some kind of opinion of the person.
Personality, yeah.
Right. So now I'm walking around the apartment, I'm mocking it. And about 3 minutes in, Susan's like, shut the fuck. You know, so you can get just shut the fuck. From both of us to me, just shut the fuck up. This is not happening. You're not becoming angry guy who's angry at a show that was already bad.
That you shouldn't be watching, yes.
Right. That's now dubbed. And now how can, this is untenable. So when I realize that, then I am better at stopping.
It's like buying a Little Caesars pizza and making fun of Little Caesars pizza the whole time you're eating it.
That's exactly right. And there's some things in life that I can't. I've had this happen to me in life where we had to have Uncle John's or whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah, Papa.
Party John's.
Papa.
Yeah. And I think in one case it was my fault.
Yeah.
And everybody was angry at me because I could have ordered Domino's.
That's actually that's their slogan. Papa John's, it's your fault.
This was before he became, well, he always was a racist. This is before it became part of his advertising campaign, his racism.
Sure.
And I didn't realize that Domino's was better because this really was, it is at the time, was the bottom of the barrel of every ingredient that you could use. Worse than having white bread with Kraft cheese and ketchup.
Oh, you ruined it with ketchup. I was on board till then.
You know what's amazing, Josh? And I know what you're going to do when you hear this material.
Hang up, probably.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
You know, that's what you want to do.
It is.
But I have a couple of things You know what I was going to do today?
What?
This bit I didn't do. The big spliff with the CT contrast can.
Uh-huh.
I was going to, not a smoked, not a smoking spliff, but I thought it'd be funny to have a large, and I kept thinking, why is that funny?
Right. Especially if it comes out bad.
What's that?
Especially if it comes out bad.
And also, first accusatory. Why wouldn't he think this was funny? But then it gets more rational. What is funny about that?
See that.
What is funny about displaying?
That's a good question you should put into your rotation.
You're right. For example, if I had a giant-sized joke spliff, I might show that to you, not knowing it's not funny, but at least it plays on camera.
Sure, and then you can write it off.
As of course, I knew that was terrible.
Right, but once it's on camera, it's a write-off.
But this idea, like the first time we, the first time we did the remote thing, and the first time I did Zooms, almost every one I only did it once, but I had the urge every time to put a mask on as the opening bit.
Yeah.
Hey.
How many masks do you have around the house?
Well, you only need one for Zooms.
Oh, I thought you meant like a Halloween sort of thing.
No, I go on a Zoom, and the first thing they go is, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you could catch it through the."
And you didn't do that, just to be clear.
Once I did, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever did it. I don't think I did, but I have done stuff like not that bad, but like that.
Okay.
Like it's very similar to the joke Groucho Marx. I have a lot of hang-ups in life. You know, I really have a lot of hang-ups.
Yeah, I see.
And I'm worried about...
I don't want to be a part of your cheapness now. You just extended the show with that.
Here's the problem. What I don't like is bits. If you wanted to, like, for example, if someone wants to do a prank, such as hanging up the phone, I don't want to see the bit coming.
You're making me sad now. Why are you doing this?
You can't fool me, though. You want to try and fool me, but you can't. So now you have to go back into the banter, and I have to pretend.
Exactly. I have to wait until it's rude to hang up on you instead of playing along.
Happy Friday to my fur kids, 'cause they are so mellow today. They're so cool in every way. Oh Lord, how I love my fur kids. I don't care what Josh Weinstein says about people that call their dogs for kids, because I still love them so. And I got a thing to say now. On a Friday, you gotta have your questions for Thought Spiral. And on Monday, they'll play the podcast back for you. Questions on Friday. What now? For Andy and Joshua. Thought Spiral is happening today. They're gonna record the podcast. Yeah.
Plug it in, plug it in.
Oh, man. I got to tell you, when you texted me last night, it was like finding the lost city of Atlantis, or finding, what is the thing that the Raiders of the Lost Ark are looking for?
They're looking for the lost synapse.
The lost synapse. It's like, yes, plug it in, plug it in. But in my defense, well, I'm not going to sue them. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not going to sue them.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I have a good case. I happen to mail that song to myself.
I did a poor man's copyright.
I mailed what it is to myself. And as I've always said to people, this is official. There's no way this envelope could have been opened once it was sent. You see? Here's the post office mark.
It's in a mayonnaise jar on Funkin' Wagnall's porch. Since noon today.
Yeah. Did you get my photo that I sent you? I'm not going to make a long story of it, but I thought it was pretty funny.
It's a dry bagel, dry toasted bagel. That's where the story begins.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can do an anecdote fast. It's a Dave's Killer bagel. I've gotten into these Dave's Killer bagels.
You told us.
Fantastic. Yeah, and now I just do a dollop. And I hate to use the word dollop because I despise Dave Anthony, but I use just a dollop of cream cheese.
A dollop actually sells it as a big amount. I would say you're using a skosh.
Or a skidgen. A smidgen?
A smidgen.
A skosh?
Smidgen or a skosh. But a dollop is hearty.
That's the first time in my life I ever knew that.
Like when I think of, if you think of like a Cool Whip commercial, that's a dollop.
That's a whole dollop. Yeah, it's like it could go 5. It could be 5 stories tall.
Gablunk. A dollop goes gablunk.
I mean, some of them in Peru have been known to. So anyway,
so you're building the healthier bagel. You got a Dave's thing, which there's carbs, but there's other shit. There's protein, there's fiber. It's it's a healthy whole grain alternative to just the carb bomb, the pure carb bomb.
Well, 26 whole grains is supposed to be good.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, it's great.
Oh, okay. So you see the picture of the bagel I sent you, right?
Yeah, I see.
What's actually besides the forced perspective?
There's big holes. There's big holes in these bagels.
Okay. The difference.
That's
anything
part of
else?
The nutritional value is the negative space.
Do you see any difference between the two halves?
I do. It's poorly sliced. The top half has shrunken.
Okay. Now here's the thing. Dave's Killer Bread the brother was in prison.
The brother was in prison?
Dave.
I thought it was Dave. Why are you trying to?
I can't even read
a brother.
I can't even read the package. I think the family said, "Come back in." So, and he was a felon, and 25%.
But he was not a killer, which is weird. I don't think. I think it wasn't in for murder.
And 25%
should be Dave's burgling bread, I think.
And 25% of the people who work there are former felons. So I would say.
Did you find a file in your bagel?
No. What I'm telling you is I have noticed with a couple of. I noticed. I looked online. It's 25% of the people are former felons. They have not received one complaint in the entire history of Dave's Killer Bread. Nobody's ever been unsatisfied with anybody because I was going to make a complaint about the slicing, right?
Right.
Well, how would that go down?
Maybe maybe hire someone with a knife background. Maybe someone who's done some stabbings.
But here's me at the registering my complaint. Yeah, like I bought like 2 of them. They're unevenly sliced. Yeah. Okay. Wait a second. Hey, Scooch. Hey, Scooch. Scooch walks over with a large hunting knife.
Do you have a complaint?
Now, Susan and I laughed. All we have is each other. I mean, I have you too, but all we have is each other. We find each other just hilarious all day long.
And yet you don't follow me on Blue Sky when you join?
That's so stupid. Talk about somebody who's a fucking idiot. Didn't you recommend Blue Sky to me?
I said I did. And you go, well, then I'm doing it. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, that's right.
I thought we said, blah, 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 blah.
I keep talking. I got to follow you on.
Okay. All right. Jesus Christ. My God.
I mean, what do you have to do?
What a slap in the face. I mean,
what does a man have to do? I know who you are. I'm looking for new people. What's your name over there?
What do you think it is?
J. Elvis?
Uh-huh. You can come in. You can come in just after BB Newworth.
You know, Josh, I'm going to just see what you're doing for a couple of days, and then I'll come back to you.
Right.
There you go, baby.
Blue Sky probation.
Oh, my God, look at that photo. Who's in that photo?
What photo?
On your... it looks like Stand By Me. The cast of Stand By Me.
No, it's the cast of all the 1960s sitcoms.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's Ron Howard, Clint Howard, Buffy and Jody, and Ernie.
Yeah.
Ernie
they
from
must
My
love
Three
that photo
Sons.
shoot. They love that photo shoot.
And they're all holding ties.
That was a fun start for me.
Wasn't
I got
it?
to tell you that
It was
right now.
great. I hope I look
because
forward.
I
I look forward to condensing that section.
Just put a dollop of have you ever listened to the dollop?
Hmm?
That's Dave Anthony's podcast.
Oh, okay.
You wouldn't listen to that.
I don't.
His partner seems like a nice guy, so I don't know what happened to him. It's not. I guess it's not the people he works with. I guess it's not that. It's him. It's basically
you
him.
seem to dislike the guy.
I like him. No, that was my fault.
Oh, okay.
No, it was my fault. You know what?
It's easy to
This is the new
mistake
me.
your like and love, your dislike and your.
I'm telling you,
sometimes.
this is the new me.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you today?
I'm confused as to this new person in front of me.
I'm confused as to this new person in front of me, you said.
No, I don't like this new person in front of me.
No, I don't like it. I'm proving to you that I'm hearing everything you're saying.
Huh. That's not hearing.
I guess would work.
That's parroting. That's having.
I think it's literally
try having
parroting.
a conversation with a parrot and see if you feel like they've really grokked what you're doing.
Josh Weinstein. Oh, that's not a. I'm doing an Edward G. Robinson
That's a
bird.
mockingbird.
I still love that song. I love any song in a round. Mockingbird say everybody mockingbird. Do you know I can still get a laugh?
Bird.
Yeah. I can still get a laugh in any context by saying let's do it in a round. Let's do a round.
Yeah. I bet you can.
Still works.
Well, not every context, apparently.
Not here, you
most.
Well, what's happening with you? I bought 2 brand new toilets. Boop, 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 boop,
Did
boop,
you?
boop, boop. 2 Totos.
Toto.
And Toto 2.
Wow.
They're supposed to be good.
Let me know.
Well,
I've got a couple I could swap out here in the house.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, here's what I went with. I don't like to see. I went with the skirt.
Although I want the higher ones. You don't like those, I bet.
They have a skirt now. That's what I went with.
They went with
In other
a
words,
skirt?
so you don't see the actual.
Like what kind of skirt?
In other words, so that it's completely white and completely white. There's no areas that underneath to clean that you'll never be able to clean later. That follows the way the pipes look.
Okay, so it's just like a barrel. It's like a barrel with a seat.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I'm not saying it's going to be an architectural digest.
It's an oil drum. Is what?
But I'm so excited about it. This was not an easy thing to do, to go buy a toilet.
Was I correct in that you have to buy the toilets and then get a plumber to install
absolutely
them?
were correct. Absolutely. But we found this place called Pacific Sales.
Oh, shit.
What? Have you heard something?
They're high end. They're high end, those Pacific Sales, but they got good stuff.
I think they're owned by Best Buy now. That's what Susan told me on the way there yesterday.
They do
Very
have
happy.
a Pacific Sales in the Best Buy now, I think. Yeah.
And when I went over there it was not a fun day. But then it ended up being fun. And I found we ate at a restaurant yesterday. And I think that you would like this restaurant, but my new theory, Josh, is that sushi is not enjoyable at home because this is my first meal out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, but it's such a different experience when you're there.
So much better there.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
So I went to this place called Kiwami by Katsu.
Okay.
By Katsu. And it was excellent.
Should you use another sushi place as the geographic reference to your current sushi place?
No,
Seems
it's
like a slap in the
Kiwami.
face.
No, Kiwami by Katsu. It's a
it's-
Katsuya restaurant.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, I didn't make it seem like it's right by Katsuya.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So no, I was very excited about it.
Okay, well, good. I don't think
Shut up.
there's a lot of reason for us to spend
No, there's not a reason
time
to-
on an ultra local restaurant recommendation. But
Right, but say that I never realized how much environment affected food, and it does with sushi.
sushi huge. I do not like the delivery sushi. We've had
because sometimes,
but it
like
just-
it comes home, and sometimes I'll put it to the side for a couple of hours because we're busy doing something.
yeah, that's another killer.
Well, why? Well, why? I'm not good at playing the dumb guy. I mean, I am good at playing the dumb guy.
Yeah. Plus, you get kind of like even like there's like decent grocery store sushi to be had in LA.
Yeah.
I would, I'd stack our grocery store sushi up against most towns.
Where do you particularly find good sushi in the?
I don't do it a lot, but that's not my point. That's not my point.
But the California roll.
But what I'm saying,
you can get nice California roll.
My point is that you sort of get lulled into just mundane sushiness.
I know,
and then you go to a good place. And you go, oh, wait, this is like an art. This is an elevated form of eating, not this pedestrian, everyday shove it in your face kind of eating.
And it makes me feel guilty about the 700 delivery, like the $700 deliveries of sushi I've had, or the thousands.
You don't need to feel guilty. Everyone's benefiting from it, except you.
Oh, Josh, when you talk that way, you make me say to myself. All right, so that was good, and that's good. So that happened, and are you all installed, or you have to? Don't you have things to be installed in your house, rooms?
I just talked to Gary, and
how's he doing?
Gary's coming a week from Monday now.
Oh, very good.
He's a man of very few words, Gary. In fact, he hung up on me and he called back. I went,
by mistake?
Sorry, I cut you off. He thought we were done, and I had a question.
Well, you're saying that you don't pick.
So he's a polite man. He's polite plus curt.
Is he a handyman?
No, he's a licensed installer. He's more than he's a specialist. Although I assume he is a handyman.
But like, if you were saying advice to someone coming to America, I say stay away from if you have a car, don't go to any of the. You can't just go into a repair station in America. I don't know how it is elsewhere, but 50% of the time when I've gone into gas stations cold or mechanics cold, they rip me off.
Yeah,
they have ripped me off, and you can't go by Yelp, and you can't go by. I found this one guy who I love who works. I just love him, and he works on the Toyotas and stuff. Uh-huh. He's the only person I trust. Yeah, because he fixed my air conditioning where everybody else said. This one guy goes, you can't. What are you, nuts? You can't fix this.
Yeah.
Then another guy said, why don't you buy I think because the button maybe it's the button. Uh-huh. So just buy the new panel. So we go into the new panel, like bring it over his place. He loves it. Oh no, this one doesn't work either. Just keep buying these used ones. Yeah. And then I took it over to my guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's like it should be. I guess that's why it's so expensive when you find a good one. But why is it? Shouldn't there be a way to make it?
Well, my question is, why didn't you had a guy? Why didn't you start with your guy?
Because I hadn't gone to him in years.
Okay.
And I didn't realize how great he was. That's why.
Okay.
Because he's kind of a strange guy.
All right. I understand. I understand this guy. It's like, you don't necessarily want to deal with him. but
he's so honest.
Yeah.
He's so.
Yeah.
And every time he goes, I hope it's not this. If it's that, I will tell you not to even fix it. And it hasn't been that.
Speaking of sort of appropriate of my guy, I was talking about my vet last week or whatever, and how
right.
While they're pretty expensive, they're very upfront about their pricing. Like that's one of the things I like about them. They're like, this is what we should do, and it would cost this much if we do that.
Right.
But they made so many points with us this week because they sent a sympathy card for Clyde, which any vet would do, but like all 15 employees wrote little messages and signed it.
Oh, that
like,
is...
All right, okay, you got us for 2 more dogs.
That is so great. Do you know all the people there, or just some of them?
No.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That is so good.
What are you?
That's the type of thing you want.
What are you doing?
You know what it is. It's like you could. I think of this as our clubhouse, and this is our show. It's our clubhouse, and so I thought I would be able to do something simple. But nothing is simple with me. Everything has a thing. That's a thermos.
If there's one lesson I've learned from our friendship, it's that.
What?
Nothing is.
Where are you? Where'd you go? So Blue Sky seems like the best so far, but it's going to be. I mean, what are we going to do? What am I going to do?
I think you need.
What am I going to do? Build up my followers?
I think you can invest a little bit of time, but emotionally divest at the same time.
Also, I'm trying to be. I've told you, I'm going to be nice.
I think that's good. I don't think
there's Twitter.
Well, right now on Blue Sky, there's not that many people to fight with. There's a lot
because they're nice people.
There'll be a lot of yes, Andy.
But Twitter, I'm actually enjoying
Twitter
going after
is like
people.
Studio 54 in 1984.
I really do hope, and I don't, that I'm not someone who holds a grudge longer than a natural lifetime, but I hope he crashes him. This guy is a bad guy, and he's a bad guy, and he's got bad intent. It's not just, and he's got a lot of money, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
So I want to see him crash and burn. I'm
with you. I really am. I mean, there's a lot of nice people out there who own Teslas who I hope don't get hurt by that. But other than
right.
that,
Jerry Lewis's favorite car, right?
Tesla!
Yeah, but this is more like preaching to the converted, because I think he's literally I think what they're saying is he shouldn't have bought it to begin with. Right. And he overpaid. He tried to back out of it, right?
He tricked himself into buying
it. and didn't know anything about it. Doesn't even seem to know the business really. Well,
why would he? He wasn't in that business at all.
Right. What business is he in? He's rockets, right?
Well, he's a car guy for the most part.
Okay. Some of the new Teslas look nice.
I think SpaceX is a moneymaker in terms of the contracts he has with everybody to launch things.
Well, can someone take over SpaceX? Someone take over it? All right, let's go. Obviously, I'm out. Let's go to the questions. What do you think?
Sure. It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Oh, God, I'll be so sad if it's not. You heard what happened with Pickles, right? Pickles had a fictional character accident. Pickles says, remember the guy with the rainbow wig who had the sign at football games that said John 3:16? How could you forget that guy? Of course. What is he doing? What's he doing these days?
I don't know if he's out of jail yet or not.
He went to jail for real?
He went to jail for real. He ended up in like a standoff, a hostage taking standoff with a hotel maid against police at one point.
I want to see that. I have to see that true crime show.
Yes, just look up Rainbow Man, and you'll. It's quite.
Have you seen the Gladiators thing on what is it on?
I did see that. Yeah. It was okay. I mean, it was definitely docu-stretching. But I mean, good. It was documentary worthy.
How many? But
I love how many Gladiators?
Like 4 or 5?
No, there's a gajillion of them. But it expanded over the course of the series. They added to disempower anyone who might get too.
No. I meant how many of the
how many of the
documentaries?
I don't know if it's 3 or 4.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember, but it's okay. But it's like it's the takeaway I got, the sort of funny takeaway I got was like they act like they're such a family, but they still call each other Jet and Sunshine and Apollo,
and Gemini.
Right.
Well, the one guy who cracked me up was the Johnny Ferraro, and I still am cracked up by animation that shows a goofy guy being goofy. So it worked in this case where the guy comes in and goes, I'm Johnny Ferraro. And I'm, who did he say he was? I'm Elvis or something.
Right.
So, but you know what? That's a low bar now to say that makes it a good documentary.
Well, I mean, that's the problem. As a doc maker, that's the problem you have. Something has to be on screen at all times.
Right.
So if you're telling a story, if you don't have pictures and you don't have a good talking head, what the fuck are you going to do?
I think animation can be great.
It can be too, but it can also be so pedestrian.
Overused.
Yeah. It's so hard. I mean, that's the central, that is really the central decision of any doc. I come to understand from an artistic standpoint. I mean, there's a whole different thing about how you tell a story and all that, but ultimately, in terms of style, that's the problem you have to solve.
Yeah, it's not easy, especially when you're.
I just watched the Wham doc.
Yeah, that didn't look interesting to me, but was it?
It's not. No, it's really not. I mean,
I like George Michael.
I mean, the only thing that's kind of, and it's totally contained to the story of Wham itself. When it ends,
Right.
It ends when they break up, and the only thing that's sort of interesting about it is the sort of you have to decode if you really believe Andrew Ridgeley was fine with them breaking up, and that Wham was not meant to be a long term.
Was Andrew Ridgeley his partner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And they don't deal with that in it, or
no, they deal with it, but it's just it's a question of, do you actually believe him?
Oh, what does he say?
Well, he acts like a very supportive friend, and he's like, he was all for George becoming a superstar, and he was ready for it to, but that's 30 years later. I don't know what he was really feeling at the time, and I don't know if I buy it entirely,
Well, it's so funny to me,
but it's another one of those docs with nothing on, all archival footage, no one on screen, and it becomes a blur.
Well, what's interesting? Well, not interesting. He came out the same thing. Like Boy George talks about how competitive they were, like they were like enemies almost. Yeah. And to me, Boy George's music was so great. I mean, Culture Club.
Yeah, Culture Club musically was a way better band.
Right, and so I never liked him at all. But then when I read about the struggles he went through, it did seem like he had. I mean, you can't.
I mean, if you think of Wham as Hall and Oates, it's like, all right, okay, I buy it.
But their first hit was so bad, Choose Life and.
Well, that was the first hit that made it here, but they had already splashed in England at that point.
And then also, I don't think you can underestimate how difficult it is to be a gay person back in that time period. What do you do?
Right.
I mean, Boy George handled it wonderfully.
But the style choices, like the Choose Life thing and that thing, was all Andrew Ridgeley. That was all Mr. Straight.
Oh, so he was for real about that.
He was,
choose life and don't do drugs.
No, I don't think it was. It had nothing to do with abortion, and it had nothing to do with drugs.
Oh, it was just like thanks for clarifying.
It was like Frankie Says Relax. It was like one of those kind of, but in terms of like basically what the case that the doc makes, and there's nothing to indicate that it's not true, is that Andrew Ridgeley basically totally empowered George Michael to become this self-confident superstar. Right.
Was he talented? Was he talented, Ridgeley? I mean,
clearly he was talented, but he wasn't confident in any way. And so he basically aped Andrew Ridgeley's style. I mean, they were best friends from teenagers, so there really was mutual support between one and another. They loved each other, but then once it becomes like, we're huge stars, and he's going to be the huge star, and, and he was getting shit as being Oates, basically. The same shit Oates got.
You don't want to be Oates, right?
No, I don't think you do.
Who's the blonde one?
That's Daryl Hall. The one you want to be. Yeah.
That's a great name. Garfunkel and Oates is one of my favorite names for a comedy group.
I mean, Garfunkel's the ultimate example, obviously, of the undervalued partner.
Oh, but he was pretty. I mean, at the time, he was pretty the most valuable. I mean, he was. Oh, God.
He was invaluable to the Simon and Garfunkel song,
right?
But he was not invaluable to the songwriting or the songs would have gotten written and made otherwise.
I know Artie went around and he recorded old people in the home. You want to put that on there? Don't call me Boopsie says. And a third thing.
Jesus, we got all that from John 3:16. Oh my God, we got it.
That's unbelievable. That's why I figured I had to go. We'll never get done with this kind of level of proficiency. And a third thing, J. Elvis Weinstein.
Let me do this one.
Okay, good.
Okay, because this is a Karnak style. And I'm just going to condense it to the.
Okay.
And a third thing, J. Elvis Weinstein and Adam Carolla. Rip, blow, name a Kindler bit, a lightning wit, and a walking, talking piece of shit.
You know why I like about that is they call Carolla a piece of shit.
I liked being a lightning wit.
Well, you are lightning wit. I mean, that part is true.
Oh.
And what's the thing about me?
Yeah, it was your bit. It was an homage. There was plenty for us to enjoy.
I just want the evil people to get the zinger.
Now you do Shecky Flop Sweat.
Shecky Flop Sweat says, "Hey, fellas, a question for both of you. What's your favorite billionaire-funded misinformation campaign?" Well, favorite... I like the way that people say that Robert F. Kennedy, they're claiming he never said that there was anything wrong with vaccines. That's what's a fucking lie. He's saying autism was caused by the vaccine. But then he's saying, no, I'm not saying that, but let's look at it. It was looked at for fucking ever.
All right.
And it was a bad study. What are these people? I'm not saying flop swept, but the people who are climbing on the RFK Jr. bus,
yeah,
they're not rational people.
It's true. It's true. I'm trying to think of my favorite billionaire-funded misinformation campaign.
Oh, I know what it was. I would say that
the
it was
Joel Osteen Ministry.
I remembered my least favorite was the one against Kerry was terrible. The one against John Kerry.
Swift boating.
Yeah, and that was a billionaire. T. Boone Pickens.
Oh, what a dick. Such a dick.
T. Boone. T. Boone. Shecky Flops. Oh. BD West says, Josh, I thought that the best way to honor Clyde would be to observe a test show of silence. Hence a tweetless 315 from me and mine. Rough said.
Thank you, BD. And the only saving grace I have right now for Clyde is that he didn't have to live for this fucking 4th of July the other night, which would have just sent
it didn't seem as bad, but it was.
It was horrible.
I must have been sleeping or something.
Maybe.
Did they start earlier or they started later?
They went deep into the evening, deep in 2 a.m. I was up, and that was.
What do you do with the doggies?
Well, Lucky just was at my heel, followed me into the bathroom at my heel, and Cody was just on edge. He was on edge, but neither of them would go outside when I opened the door.
If they're at your heel, what does that say about the dog in that moment? The dog figures you're the only one who can know how to handle this.
Yes, it's just you're in charge of protecting me, is what she's saying.
Oh my God! Dogs say the darndest things, or something like that.
That's true. All right. Well, Nauta says, "Can you see the real me? Can you? Can you see the real me? Can you?"
Is this a joke about Walt Nauta?
Apparently, I don't.
Kenya. I think it has to do with Kenya. Kenya.
I don't know. He pleaded not guilty.
Well, you absolutely fooled us, Walt Nauta. Uh-oh, I get another Cheech and Chong's gummies are now 100% legal. What the fuck is he doing? Why does he need money?
Really?
No, I'm not going to go there. Q-Mock says...
I'm just going, really? Why does he need money?
He does need money. Yeah, he was in jail for 4 years. Q-Mock says... The number 316 makes me think of John 3:16 in the Bible. Have either of you chaps read the New Testament just to see what the fuss was about? I've seen Jesus Christ Superstar, and I know a couple of things, but I'm not Bible aware of much at all, even the Old Testament, like you are.
Right, exactly.
Chapter and verse.
Right. No, I mean, I have certainly thumbed through the New Testament, but I have never studied it in any kind of...
I used to remove the New Testament from hotel rooms because it was like bullshit.
Yeah, you just stick it on the floor outside your door.
Yeah, wouldn't that be what
like so many used room service trays?
Isn't that what Mel Gibson would say, or what is Mel Gibson's thing? He only has
ultra Catholic. Yeah.
Yeah. I never knew Catholic was an actual word, and I still don't quite know what it means. And when people use it, he goes, very Catholic of them.
Well,
it was very Catholic of them.
His father comes from some sort of extremist Catholic background.
But to say that someone's very Catholic, I don't get what that means, and I should.
Well, okay. I don't think I'm the guy to explain it to you, really.
Do you know what it means?
I know what it means when I say it.
What does it mean when you say it?
I was highly observant to the Catholic faith.
I know it's like a way of doing things that's Catholic. It's a way of doing things.
No, I don't mean it like, Jude him down or something. I mean someone who's into like the doctrine of Catholicism way too much.
I don't know. Someone will have to answer that one for me. Oh, what is this? Christopher Citro. Is that where we are at? Yeah. Christopher Citro says, picked up my guitar case and the handle broke. Reached into the fridge and a carton of eggs fell out. Crushing 2. Knocked my coffee off the counter answering my phone. I'm afraid to go pee now. Guys, how do you navigate those everything I touch breaks kind of days? And he puts Don Martin's The Mad Adventures of Captain Klutz, which I don't even remember that one. Do you?
Absolutely, I do.
Wow. Those days are really annoying, and they do happen, and it's not like you can go,
stop it.
You can't avoid them.
Right.
You can't avoid them. Right. But they're defined by how many of them in a row you have.
Yeah. No, I had a good one last week where it was just like nonstop for about 6 hours.
What was the subject matter?
It was just everything. Everything was going fucked up. Everything was fucked up, and it was all me just like, it was, you know what it was, Andy? It was a lack of mindfulness. But it was like, oh, I dropped my phone. But I saved it with my ingrown toenail.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Having been a person who spilled coffee onto his laptop, you never want to do it again, and I haven't done it again.
I put a Sam Adams into an iMac once, or a MacBook once.
And it was gone, right?
It was gone, yeah, because it hits the fan and it just goes across everything.
Well, that wasn't a great system.
It was
what?
Good. It was bad.
What's the matter with me? Clarity Repa. Oh, I'm going to see if I can try it. Clarity Repa is not easy to do. Now, am I just obscure, or are you guys squares? Hollywood squares. Like dig. My fingers double popping without Ben Gay ointment. Lost me at the end.
Yeah.
But I guess if you snap your fingers without Ben Gay ointment, you don't really get a good, you do get a good sound. Why don't you read Johnny Whoops?
You were trying to make Ben Gay aid out of that. Johnny Whoops says, what is your favorite comedy film from 1957 to 1961? Is the kind of question that makes me laugh when people ask because it's such a conversation ender. No, but seriously, it's Jack Lemmon and Yes, Your Honor, That's My Daughter, co-starring Sally Field and Tony Randall.
I'm willing to give that a shot, but I don't believe
I don't think
it's an
actual movie. But
very good,
I do think speaking of Jack Lemmon and 1957 to 61, I'd say The Apartment might be the best comedy in that range there.
Can I go with It's a Mad World? That's later. That's mid-60s.
I don't know. I think probably 61,
57.
62 maybe. I don't know. But whatever the case, it's not that funny.
I think I may have an answer. Cold Turkey, which was a terrible movie. Cold Turkey. It's probably later.
That's the best comedy?
It was bad. Okay. But I loved it because I saw it in the movie theater. So for weeks afterwards, I go, how come everybody's not talking about that movie I saw? B.D. West says, is there anything better than Ricky Lee Jones guesting multiple times on an album? Throw in Elvis Costello, Tom Waits, Bette Midler, and Brian Setzer, and you've got Dan Hicks and his hot leaks beating the heat. I'll get you mind off all your troubles. Okay, I can't even understand what happened here.
Yeah, that's bad reading. That's just bad.
Oh, was it bad reading?
It was bad reading, yeah.
All right, let me hear you rectify it.
Is there anything better than Ricky Lee Jones guesting multiple times on an album? Throw in Elvis Costello, Tom Waits, Bette Midler, and Brian Setzer, and you've got Dan Hicks and his hot licks. Beating the heat. It'll get your mind off your troubles.
All right. Do you think that you had better? I mean, your read was like you were on This American Life.
That kind of sounds like that Paul Schaefer album, though. That's almost too many guests.
Did he have an album?
He did. It was Coast to Coast, it was called. It was super bad. Super bad.
Were you glad that I proved to you that 10-10 Wins was an actual reference?
I didn't follow up. I just saw you got a bug up your ass.
Stupid. What kind of an asshole are you? What a typical asshole.
But you sent me a link to something that I had no idea what it was. So
once again, I try
that your reference sucked.
Once again, I try. I think about it. My wife says, "Try again with this asshole."
A third Jew says, "Have either of you taken Threads for a test drive yet? It's felt like this for months, but it really does seem like Twitter is in its death throes for real this time. I know Josh is on Blue Sky. What's that like? Does invite only make it better or kind of suck?" Well, it's not just invite only, because I had put one on the waiting list a few weeks ago, and after I had signed up via invitation, my waiting list code came. So you can get on it if you sign up for a waiting list. But I don't know how long they even take. I don't know how long you have to be on before you even get an invite to give people. So
right, I don't have an invite yet.
Nor do I. But at least you fucking followed me, for fuck's sake.
Well, what an asshole. I mean, me, not you.
Okay.
John Dunbar says, knowing that it's the commercials that get Andy, and that really is true.
Wow.
Can you explain how he was able to overlook the imbecilic marketing behind his beloved Dave's Killer Bread, a Dickie Betts type cartoon playing guitar like Yngwie Malmsteen equals healthy bread? I haven't seen it. I never judge.
You're reading the bread, but look at the logo, is what he's saying. On your Dave's. It is kind of.
Oh, I don't understand. I don't really want. Oh, I see what you're saying. But I thought that it looked like there was a commercial with Dave's Killer Bread. No, I don't. I don't say it's the best labeling. Look, they'll kill me. They're felons. Richard, you can call me Ricky. Richard, you can call me Ricky. Ripper. Hi, Josh. What's your favorite REM album?
Cole is the last name. Richard, you can call me Ricky Cole.
Oh, Cole, right. Hi, Josh. What's your favorite REM album or song? Did you ever see them in concert?
I did not see them in concert. In fact, I have in terms of my lifetime concert regrets, they're one of the very few holes I have of people I could have seen while they were together or alive and didn't.
They were my favorite band when they were out, and I never saw them live.
What's my favorite REM album?
No, song, I think. Was it?
Album or song?
Oh.
Favorites? I am split, because my favorite song is probably It's the End of the World as We Know It, just because I enjoy singing along.
Classic.
But I don't think it's their best song.
Right.
But it's the one I get the most excited about, probably, when I hear Losing My Religion is a pretty fucking great song.
Yes.
It got big, but it
Losing My Religion.
Yeah, that's the one. Yes.
Oh, no, you didn't want me to do that?
Yeah, that's the one.
I love them. Probably
Document's probably my favorite album.
It's a great album. I'm going to try Clarity Repa again, or are you going to do it?
No, you do it. It's hilarious.
Clarity Repa says, Thought Spiral, Furkid Dog, Elvis Question Song 7723. Do I need Josh's approval? JFC, hella no. Call them for kids. We are only as
fur kids.
Fur kids. We are only assigning a higher esteem to these canine companions. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm confused, but beautiful. Is that the last one?
That's in reference to me, the person calling them fur babies.
Oh, why is it impossible for me to have any kind of...
Well, let me just answer that. I don't know that... You say you're assigning a higher esteem to these canine companions, but I don't know that you can have a higher esteem than dog. Dog is fucking great. What's better than dog?
That's true. It's pretty damn good. It's God backwards.
You ask me, hey, Josh, you want a dog? I say, yeah, I want a dog. You say, Josh, you want a baby? Fuck no.
Oh my God, you turned into some kind of performer I've never seen. You got a wacky face. So you have to turn your cap to the side for this kind of comedy. Are we going to the other area now?
Let's do it.
All right, take it away. Take it away, boss.
Take it away. Wanna hear you play till the lights go down.
Who is that?
That's Paul McCartney.
Oh, not my favorite song.
No,
I don't even know it.
Nor should it be. Moldylocks says, my partner hates it when I describe local traffic conditions as it's bumper to humper out there. She also
It's so terrible.
She also really dislikes when I introduce her as my wife to new acquaintances. Being that these are some of the only joys in life I have left, I've agreed to give one up for Lent. Now, I'm aware Lent has come and gone and that you two fine chaps don't observe this type of holiday, but which one would you surrender given the choice? You gotta go. You gotta dump Borat. You gotta. Because bumper to humper, come on.
That's bad. Bumper to Humpers, it has a certain amount of live, disgusting quality that you can still get sick about.
And you can make a DJ. You can do a DJ once in a while. It's bumper to humper out there on the 405.
It's bumper to humper on the 65 degrees. Yeah, but it's nice. My wife.
That's so.
I know, that's not a good Borat. It's not a good Borat.
Eastside 76 says, once again, I come to you to talk about food. Mac and cheese is lowest common denominator food, the wonder bread of pastas. I vote to get rid of it forever. What food or foods would you get rid of? While you guys answer, I'll be eating a sliced cucumber with Tajin Valentina hot. Let me say that again. With Tajin, Valencia hot sauce, and lemon.
Oh, it's too much.
That's a lot of acid.
You say mac and cheese, now I can't get it out of my mind because it is overdone. And yet I still have a mac and cheese.
Well, I mean, mac and cheese has a pretty wide spectrum of quality these days.
Yes.
There are so many elevated macs and cheeses out there now.
With homemade ravioli.
Well, yeah, that's not mac and cheese. That's ravioli, Andy. Come on. That's baked ravioli, I think is what you're thinking of.
Bologna sandwiches, if they're still around, I don't want them.
You don't want them?
Does anyone sell a bologna sandwich anymore? No.
I don't know. When did people sell a bologna sandwich? It was more of a
back in Queens.
Much more of a make it at home item. It seems like.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this to the official Mexican The Thought Spiral, but cilantro can go fuck itself.
Oh, I don't agree, Isai, and I'm sorry you had to hear it that way. I actually is it because it has a soapy taste? Is that what people?
Well, I don't know. It's cilantro taste, and I can see why people call it a soapy taste, but it's worse.
I don't mind it at all, so I'm better than Josh in some way.
That's where you got take it where you can get it, my friend. Take it where you can get it. Zeke Fossey says, who was president when you last had sex with a person not your wife? Can you remember their name? Keep it to yourself, but do you know?
But it was Biden. What? Okay, well, who was I going out with?
I can't remember who was president last time I had sex with my wife. No, I do remember their name, and it would have been in the Clinton administration.
I don't know, the question is off-putting to me. It seems like it'll open up a lot of cans I don't want to get into. Yeah. Who was I having sex with? Who would want to admit to having sex with me?
By the way, very early in the Clinton administration.
This whole thing is off-putting. Not the question, but how we're answering it and who we are as people.
Daisy Petunia says, I swear I haven't known what day it was for like 5 days. Says everyone I've had small talk with for I swear it's like been 5 days.
That's because of the July 4th.
Oh, you think?
I don't like oh, you think. It's just such a dismissive type of thing.
It's the worst sitcom bullshit.
You think? Oh, maybe laugh though. So,
Dan Wade says the other day I listened to Mort Saul's Watergate album. He laughed at over half of his jokes. Andy, you're still the number one Mort in my book. Mort Saul, I think, has always been at least 30% too satisfied with himself, too pleased with himself, and that number went up exponentially as he aged.
Yeah, and I think it was almost like, I really think in a lot of ways he was a media creation in a way, because there wasn't that many people around who were like that, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I don't think it was, I think that's kind of chicken or the egg, because he did create what he was doing. He was the first guy to sort of strip off the bullshit tuxedo and put on a sweater and go.
Right. So we have to give it up for him, but he's terrible is the problem, I think.
But he was the first. We talk about this in the play with Schneider. It's like, there was this generation of guys who came home from World War II and didn't want to talk about their fucking mother-in-laws.
Right.
Delicious Mick. Now, you guys are entitled to your opinion, but you're just simply off on Corolla. Thank you for letting us have our opinion. What
is he saying about Corolla?
No, we're simply off. Well,
he's great?
Yeah, I think that's his, yeah.
Oh, oof.
Yeah. As for Leno, he seems like an innocuous enough old chap, so there's no need to burn the poor guy. First-year stand-up read. I don't know.
Yeah, he's saying like he's already. I don't know what he's saying.
There's no need to burn the poor guy, especially when he burns himself. Oh, I get it. He's saying, especially when he burns himself. That's the first-year stand-up read. But when it comes to Rob Schneider, you're on the money. That guy is such a groveling slug. He makes my foreskin crawl. I don't know why or when he got political, but when he's appeared on Corolla's show and puked his nonsense, it was embarrassing for everyone involved. Proper douche chills. You've got my blessing to barbecue this fool. Oh, and I tried watching Real Rob. It's real shit. Anyway. All right. Thank you, Delicious Mick. I'm glad we can agree to disagree on the Corolla issue.
Yeah, I mean, how do you hate Schneider but like?
Oh, I think Corolla's a smarter guy than Rob Schneider.
Well, that's true. Yeah. But it's kind of
and I don't listen to the same thing with Rogan. Like, I believe there's probably a huge percent of his show that's listenable because it's people talking about things that aren't idiotic.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, and he gets to be like, "Oh, tell me about it."
But we don't hear about those parts of the show. So
right.
I believe the same thing about Corolla. I'm sure that there's plenty of innocuous and entertaining banter that goes on, and maybe even opinions about shit that are valid. But
right.
But those come along with a shit ton of bullshit.
And life's too short to go back now and revisit.
Right. Full Dork says, if you could have any guest in the world on the podcast that hasn't been on already, otherwise I feel like you'll just say Jen Kirkman, who would you choose? Randy Newman. I just thought when I think of people who I actually have some actual questions for about their art and their process and things, that's kind of the first guy that comes to my mind.
I would go with Bob Dylan if I could talk to Bob Dylan. That would be fantastic.
That right here. What do you want?
I'm saying that you're one of my heroes, and I bring you up in every conversation because you're one of the greatest. And thank you for changing my life.
Wow, that's interesting. 1 second.
Oh, my God, Bob.
Yeah.
Bob, when are you going to get out of this funk? Oh, man. That depresses me, Bob, when he's so... If I ever meet Bob, he better not be like you.
I bet he'll fucking be a notch meaner. Munson 3786 says, well, it happened again. I was at work trying to be productive, but in my brain, I kept hearing Droopy singing, "Love to love you, baby. Ooh, love to love you, baby. Ow, love. Oh, love to love you, baby. Love to love you, baby. Ow."
Got me hot with that.
Josh and Spike, are there any dishes from childhood that you still cook or bake? For me, it's my mother's meatloaf. My mom was not a good cook.
Neither was mine.
And I can tell you why she wasn't a good cook, because she resented cooking.
Did she have any kind of palate?
She had a good palate, yeah, but she just, it was overrun by the need to feed her family, And my dad was not much help. My dad was one of those,
she worked too.
I'm making eggs and I'm a hero. He was that guy, So, my mom worked full time. So, we went out a fair amount.
Yeah. That's good.
It was good.
I like that.
And it wasn't it wasn't the like story of, finish your food, you can't leave the table. It wasn't that kind of bad cooking. It wasn't like she was giving us shit we wouldn't possibly eat, It just wasn't memorable,
Yes.
Like it was a lot of just like meat, a baked potato, and some salad. Like that was a pretty common meal.
My mom made great chicken noodle soup, but then she still didn't cut up the chicken. But that was
chicken in a pot.
It's exactly right.
Yeah. So my mom would be like, she'd like melt cheese on a bagel for me, and that was comfort food, kind of, So like that's very evocative.
Yes, of
our relationship and that, of her caretaking me. But there's no, like the brisket she made was the same brisket that every Jewish mother in the Minneapolis area made, So there's nothing, no great recipes, and no.
My dad had good recipes. My dad was okay. He was good.
Yeah, my dad, my dad swung harder when he cooked.
Right. Yeah, my dad made great chicken, like chicken livers and things like I could never make, but people loved.
Yeah, but and food was huge in our family, but it was food that other people made was what excited me. And finally, Dr. Beer MD says, Josh, you know how you're always going on and on about your ribs and your smoker and the pellets and whatnot? I'm no, quote, pitmaster, but I sure do get a swelled up pecker thinking about those meats. Keep up the good work, big boys.
Oh, my God. I didn't see that coming.
Well, I've got you.
Wow.
I'm making brisket and ribs tomorrow.
Ooh, you are unbelievable over there. You're like a train that's... If you'd like to help us, please buy a coffee or maybe get a zazzle, 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 zoo. If you'd like to know what Andy's doing, get his great CD chunks. If you want to know what Jay Albert is doing, he did his take on Hence the Humor. Coming out soon on vinyl.
Wow, so much effort, so little help to anyone.
I thought you were going to hang up. That was good. That was really good.
BuyMeACoffee.com/ThoughtSpiral, Zazzle.com/Thought_Spiral.
Hang up on myself. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah.